I'm so excited.
And you just can't hide it.
All right, start us down, Sin.
We are going live from Florida in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 154 of the Guardian Hub podcast, where we talk Destiny, interview guests, and talk about our love of the game. This week, we're at it with our 3 hosts and 1 host live from the road. Live update. What are you doing, Sin?
I am in Florida at the moment with the fam. Did some training with a new job down here for 2 days, extending the stay out till Saturday. But yes, live on the road. 70. I'll give you actually a live update on the weather too. 71 degrees here in Orlando currently, and it's 10:15 at night. So it's pretty nice out.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that in places too, but that is nice, I have to admit. Now, I know you may not be able to tell us truthfully. Maybe you can just blink through the podcast or whatever, but you're glad that your family came too.
We're still up, so yeah, I tell my wife all the time. She could be an angry ginger sometimes, but it's nice having the kids down here. They get a break, but the 2 littles, they've been super needy. They're a little bit impatient during dinner tonight, but for the most part, I think they're having fun.
I mean, that's to be expected. That's why I was getting that question. It's always better to travel without the whole family.
And I'm blinking twice.
You're blinking twice. Gotcha. No, but I'm sure you're having at least fun enough.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. I slept on the couch last night because the kids. We got the 2 beds, and with 4 people, I was like, no, I'm not going to try to sleep in the beds with the kids and then moving all around. So I slept on the couch, and the couch was uncomfortable. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing that again tonight. I might have to suck it up and have a kid foot in my back.
Or sometimes even just, if it's that bad, it's almost can be ironically almost better just the floor. Get a bunch of pillows and blankets and stuff, you know?
I don't know about a hotel floor. No, that's a no from me, dog.
Well, you can put down a sheet first, too. I was just talking about comfort.
No from me.
Because sometimes the beds will have like weird springs that pop up in your back. That's why the floor could be better.
Feel as gross.
Yeah. You don't want those carpet munchies getting through several layers of sheets, right?
Carpet munchers?
No, but you can go for that.
Try asking for a cat carpet.
Have him bring in a crib, so he can sleep in a crib.
Right.
Or a cot.
But no, it's good times. But yeah, live from the road. I mean, other than that, Gator I just saw him join the audience in the live chat. I met up with Gator, awesome restaurant down here called Chewy's. It's a Tex-Mex Mexican restaurant. Really good. We chatted beer. I got a burrito. He got some tacos. And the burrito was really good. My wife normally gets burritos at Mexican restaurants local. She gets it with cheese sauce, but I just got the normal way with whatever the sauce that came on this. And it was actually really good. The steak, I think, was pretty good quality. And wife got a little bit of taste of it when I brought some of it home, and she enjoyed it as well.
Nice. Now you see some prize. Do they not have good Mexican where you're from?
They do, but I don't know. It seems this might be like a step above that. I think with the quality that the steak they used here. I like the Mexican food from good old WV, but this was good.
West Virginia. They do it with Mountain Dew, and I don't know what my joke is.
It's moonshine soaked.
Moonshine soaked.
Yeah. Man. But good times. Then we ate today. I'll tell you real quick because we were going in before the podcast, and then we'll get into all the what Des has been doing and shenanigans and all that. But it was the what was it called again? So yeah, live update from the wife. Sugar Factory. They have these like called insane milkshakes where they do these, like this one we got was like the whole side of it was covered in chocolate and like graham cracker dust, and the top of it had a piece of cheesecake on it, and it had like these two paper straws with like lollipops hanging out of it. It was really good, and the cheesecake was even good too. So they have like other kinds as well, but yeah, top notch. It was I would expect it to be good for a $21 milkshake.
Plus, that sounds like diabetes, how you're describing that.
I mean, maybe. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Nice. I feel like there was one other thing I was going to ask, but maybe it'll come to mind later.
Gator is not as tall as I thought he was when I met him in person.
Ooh, midget Gator?
No, he's taller than me. Don't get me wrong, but like I thought, like for some reason, like I had it in my mind
then
that
you're
he
really
was like
short then.
taller. Well, I'm 5'7", so I mean, I'm average.
You're average? Yeah, I
Average.
guess. I thought average was more like 5'8" to 5'10" for guys, but
well, if I stand on my tippy toes, I'm 5'8".
Oh, so you're a shorty. Gotcha.
Yeah, you're the
gotcha.
shorty. Short little sin.
Yeah.
Because here I thought the male average was closer to the 5'10", 6 foot range.
Yeah. That's what I would have guessed, but Sin just trying to make himself feel better.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go with that.
I mean, I've been 6'1" since I was 15, so
Nice. Yeah, I'm right at 6 foot. I always thought I was 6 foot, and then one time I went to the doctor. They're like, "You're 5'11" and a half or something." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not technically 6 foot."
If you see, Gator typed it in chat as well. We actually talked about that. He mentioned that we were leaving the restaurant about the that 5'11" to 5'10".
Oh, yeah, Gator said that too. Yep.
Yeah, it's like one day went to the doctor. He's like, "You shrank." The joys of getting older, I guess, or losing
older
hair
thing. I think, right?
It could be. I don't know. Maybe
you
it
lose
is
a half
an older
inch
thing.
per decade, something like that.
Oh, I hope not. I'm screwed then. I'll be a and no knocks on any short folk out there, but we saw a little guy dressed up as a leprechaun tonight. If I shrink too much more than I am, like if I go any shorter than I am now, I might be tiny sized, leprechaun size.
Gosh, speaking of, happy St. Patrick's Day today.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Today, I got my license when I was 16 on St. Patrick's Day back in the day, so it's always kind of memorable for me, being a good luck day.
I'll do a live update in the chat if I can take the picture.
I don't have like any Irish heritage or anything, but I do really like getting this time of year the traditional corned beef and cabbage and Irish soda bread. You know, it's kind of easier to find that stuff in the grocery stores this time of year.
That's what I should have done for tonight. See, and it's hilarious because I have a bit of Irish heritage, but also at the same time, I never keep track of St. Patrick's Day.
It does kind of just come up.
And I show up for work and just notice that everyone's wearing a bit of green. I'm like, oh, oops. Which is sad because I have a Green Lantern shirt, which I keep thinking it would be like perfect for St. Patrick's Day. I never wear it on St. Patrick's Day because I always forget.
That's okay. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've worn green on St. Patrick's Day. You know, as a kid, it was very, you kind of had to, or else, you're going to pinch you at school and all that stuff.
I know, right?
Right.
Holy crap in here. Jesus.
I didn't wear green for the longest time today, honestly. And then I put a picture of the shirt the wife made in the chat. I wore this this afternoon. Back that last up.
Yeah, see that in the chat. Interesting. Plus, you were wearing your Guardian Hub Pornhub shirt when you were meeting with Gator, right?
Yes, that was just for being noticed easier.
Gator's probably like, I don't want to be associated with this guy. They think we're going to film something here.
Right.
Oh man, I feel for you,
Gator
Gator.
Gone Wild.
Tell us, Gator, what you really thought.
Right. Blink twice.
Blink twice if you're okay. We'll be able to tell through the podcast.
Okay. I've seen me on Zoom. I think we have done Zooms before.
Oh yeah, I don't think, and me too. I don't obviously think I'd have any problem. You could be wearing any shirt, I'd probably recognize you.
Yeah, I did pull up a picture of Gator. Like I had to search his Discord for like the longest time. I was trying to show the wife a picture of what Gator looked like, and I finally found one.
And then your day was ruined. No, just kidding.
His party is ruined.
Oh man.
Oh.
Anything else new, Des? You forgot about St. Patrick's Day. I kind of did too.
Yes, entirely. Bit of good news on the other front. And I guess a bit of interesting news for our Gator currently in chat. I'm not calling you out or anything, but for those keeping up with Disney Plus, they did an amazing thing very recently. They finally added the Netflix series of the Marvel side to Disney Plus. So it's fantastic.
That's interesting.
What?
And
give me specifics, like what that means.
That means Daredevil, Jessica Jones,
Luke
Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, and The Punisher. All seasons are entirely available right now, which is absolutely fantastic.
That makes sense. I did remember seeing some of those names, but now thank you for clarifying that. And I want to definitely.
Yes.
I've always been meaning to watch Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, like, because I know Gator had the jab that Marvel doesn't do like gritty, real story. But no, these Netflix series they are some amazing things that really not many people not many people. They're just great because again they're so unlike Marvel. Like Jessica Jones is she's suffering like so many mental illnesses and addictions. Daredevil is just extraordinarily brutal. Pretty much, I mean, again, talk about mental illnesses. Punisher, they cover some very serious and incredible topics. The only thing I would suggest you can skip is Iron Fist. That one's okay. But yeah.
So I am glad they're doing this too. And, of course, we kind of know how, Disney, whether they do it through a sub studio or whatever, will be allowing another, what's the one movie to be made? The crazy.
Oh, Deadpool?
Deadpool, yeah. So this is all good news, right? Because it shows Disney. And so they're really going to have a come to Jesus moment with some of their subscribers, because I'm glad they're doing this, and I don't see anything wrong with it, because you can still have areas and still be promoted as family friendly. But have you heard recently people getting all up in arms about the new Disney Pixar movie Turning Red? And these people must be pretty extreme, because this isn't that crazy of a movie.
They're a bunch of Karens.
It's a movie about a teenage girl and going through puberty and things like that.
Oh.
And I heard so many bad influences in it. The Karen
I heard it's got like nicknames. Like some of the nicknames get pretty bad.
I mean, well, to be all right. So the one thing I don't get about the current sensitivity of like the internet and things, it's like like you said, like some of the nicknames I guess directed towards the main character get pretty bad. But here's the thing: like if you really want to tell an accurate story of like what a subdivision of like people or whatever are going through, I personally believe it's like best to include like the nitty, the gritty, like the awful nicknames, the awful derogatory terminology that's thrown towards these people. Because again, you actually get a sense of what they're going through, you know?
Yeah.
But people nowadays, they get so sensitive because they hear these terms and all of a sudden, like, you know, like I've seen people get in trouble on YouTube for using derogatory terminology when reading a story a subscriber of his had written to him about their experience, and he got in trouble for using a word they wrote down in this like writing. So he's over here apologizing and like taking the video down, and I'm just sitting there going, "Wow, how bad like is the internet for this?"
Yeah, and that's a good point too. And I was even going off the point of just like overly sensitive people. Like you don't want to talk about anything related to human body,
Exactly.
sexuality. You don't want to. They said there's bad influences in the movie because the girl has an attitude for a little bit. Like every teenager will have issues that they go through.
Do these people not have teenagers?
Yeah.
Like legitimately, like are their kids still like 8 or 10? Because then I can understand that. Because once they go through the teenage years, no, you find out all kinds of oof.
And if the movie was a bad influence for teen kids, I think this is mostly focused towards female persuasion, but I'm sure it's good for everyone to watch. Anyways, if the movie was ultimately giving bad messages, we probably would have heard about it. But sometimes you need to like show that reality to get people to understand and trust you, and then bring it around and say, okay, even though these things are happening, here's how you can learn from it. Here's how you can have a good attitude about it.
I mean, that and it's my belief that the worst influence for teen kids are other teen kids.
Correct. The kids are going to go through worse in school. I know from experience. There's all kinds of shit that happened in high
like
school.
100%. Yeah.
So, I mean, a movie telling a story and bringing awareness, let's calm down a little bit, people. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't recommend it.
Seriously.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the dummies getting mad that Deadpool was an R-rated movie because they took their kids to it, and it's like, did you not see the giant R rating? But I mean, also on that note, but because the Netflix series do deal with very heavy topics and things and partial nudity, you do have to actually set like update a restriction to see these series. So you have to allow yourself to be able to watch TVMA content on your Disney Plus to be able to watch these series. So they do have like a parental restriction.
Gotcha.
Like
that's smart. So
or whatever.
it was actually opt-in from the beginning. So yeah, people can't even complain then because it wasn't just being dropped on anyone's lap.
Exactly. It's not out for the open, because that's how I learned about it, because my Disney Plus notified me on my phone. It's like, hey, like, this content is here, but you have to update your parental settings in order to see it. And I was like, oh, TBMA? Accept? Yep, there it all is. Nice. So yeah. And it's going to be fantastic because my wife actually never got around to watching like 90% of the Netflix series. But yeah, they're fantastic. And, spoiler alert for No Way Home, that it's probably not as really a spoiler alert by now. But Charlie Cox, that plays Daredevil, had a cameo in No Way Home. And he was definitely a Daredevil. So that was like a soft confirmation that they still exist in the MCU. But I think this move is definitely, well, I mean, that and was it Kingpin in Hawkeye? I mean, yeah, these characters are definitely from these series, and they're definitely being carried forward. Or else I don't think Disney Plus would acquire them.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, here's hoping for Daredevil season 4. Or Punisher season 2, 3, 2? No, they had it season 2. Yeah, season 3. And maybe a good Iron Fist season.
Nice. Well, this is definitely interesting news, and I've always kind of had on my short list of those series Jessica Jones, so now I can.
Yes.
Well, not that I couldn't have seen it before because I had Netflix, but it just gives me more kind of like reason. We looped that in.
Yeah.
I don't think I talked about it on the podcast yet. I have mentioned that I'm behind on a lot of Marvel movies, and my wife and I just watched Eternals recently.
Oh, what did you think of it?
I liked it. I try to go in fair. I did hear some things beforehand of people saying it wasn't their favorite Marvel movie or up there as much as some others. But, I tend to mostly ignore those things so I can go in somewhat fair.
Yeah.
But, it's still in the back of my mind. But I liked it. I can't think of any time where I was totally bored or not enjoying the story.
Right. Because it's definitely a slower pace, like 100%.
Yeah.
That's like what I was
going with the flow there. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go into Eternals really expecting a modern Marvel movie. This is they definitely went with like more of a setup range, but yeah, I mean it was freaking fantastic, and I loved the comparisons of Icarus to Superman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I mean he completely and totally was.
Yeah,
I mean,
very much so he was.
You can't have a superhero in blue flying around shooting lasers out of his eyes and not have people compare him to Superman.
And then the girl, I forget her name, but she was mostly at the end. She can move really fast.
Oh God.
She was the one who was hanging out on the ship and came out later.
Yeah.
I loved her. I loved her powers.
Yeah, I think I really liked her casting because I think just like in Hawkeye, the person that does Echo in Hawkeye, I think both her and Echo are, well, no, Echo is, but I think she was too, but they are actually natively deaf people.
Ah, okay.
So they weren't just like actors that they got to do sign language and not talk. They were legitimately deaf people, which I loved on Echo more, I believe, because I don't know, it seemed like Echo could like emote with her sign languaging like so much more. But that just might be a thing. But I don't know. Her body language portrayed way more than I thought it would.
Yeah. Oh, here's the wild thing too. This is really wild, especially right now. Okay. So what are the gods in Eternals again? Like, do they have a name or the universe makers or whatever the hell?
Oh no, those are the Celestials.
The Celestials.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what they're called. Yep.
Okay. Look at the Celestials' face, and then look at Rolk.
I know, right? I mean, yeah, which absolutely hilariously, all the Celestials are basically comic book accurate on how they look. It's kind of funny, but yeah, 100%. Like, when you get into like comic book Celestials and like Galactus, that it's completely like Scorn headwear.
Yeah,
in those territories.
The 3 rows of the eyes or whatever those things are, and then I'm seeing like Mohafo in the chat right now, and he has the the Rolk thing. Obviously not exactly, but still, I was like looking at that picture, and then while we were talking about Eternals, I was like, something's like seems similar here. Obviously, Rolk is very thin in the raid, but still, I thought it was kind of funny seeing that comparison.
100%.
Well, speaking of Destiny, what is new in the game? What have we been doing? Anything?
Man, I think my answer is going to be easy on this one.
Easy?
I know, right?
I think. So easy, I mean,
go ahead.
Monday night. So we did a raid. What was it? Saturday or Sunday? We finished up one of the raids. And that's been about it. I've played nothing since reset this week. I did log in from my laptop just to get the quest progression in the helm, and that's it.
Did you finish it through so you got more story?
Just a little bit of the story from opening it up, but I didn't do any of the
You didn't finish the weekly.
No.
Oh.
And I see there's a bunch of stuff going off in the spoiler channel about a certain somebody this week, and Like I'm dying to do it.
We might have to talk about it because I think the story's going to go on pause for a little bit after this. So it seems
it's
like
fine. I don't care too much about spoilers. I'm going to experience it anyway. So I mean, I know it's Crow, but I don't know exactly what's going on with it. And yeah.
No, that's good. You did the raid some more, getting more familiar with the raid, feeling more comfortable with it.
Yes, hence the name, the boring vow of the disciple teacher. Title in chat or title in Discord.
Does not make sense. I asked you if you're getting more familiar with it.
Yeah, I mean it's getting to run it. I know when we ran it that last time, I was on my Warlock and doing Divinity, and I struggled a little bit just getting my Warlock up to speed. But that second night, I finally had him up high enough with Infusion. But yeah, I think getting more familiar with it, running it more and more definitely helps, and getting the rotations. I know you and I talked previously about this raid being is going to be a tough one to teach. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, and I'll get to more of that in a second. It's not necessarily that it's tough to teach. I've already found pretty good ways to teach. It's just hard for everyone to execute well. But Des, have you run the raid anymore or anything else you've done Destiny this week? And then after that, let's get to the story. Oh, if Des is there. If not, I will continue on myself.
He muted.
No worries, I saw that. But for me, I've run the raid some more. I only have officially 3 clears, but I feel like I could have way more. I've been with lots of different groups here and there, and I just love, especially anytime, but even especially at the beginning, jumping in with different groups to learn from different people, to help out with different groups. And I'm in no rush because to me, it's not about how many clears. I just end up getting a lot of clears in the long run, anyways, because of how much I raid. But I definitely feel very experienced with all the positions now. When you were explaining it to me, Sin, the other night is when I only had 1 clear from Liv, but then after that, now I know the end encounter very well also, and I can explain all parts. And then the only other thing I hadn't done is boss babysitting in caretaker room. Not that that's necessarily hard, but I hadn't officially done it, so I experienced that the other day. And then now with that, I've done every single position in the raid. So have
you done the runner and caretaker?
Oh yeah, I did that before boss babysitting actually. And let me tell you, that's a blast. Like Des has already told us in the past, but especially as a warlock, you got to be careful in there in that third room.
Yeah,
you bump your head, all sorts of crazy things. And shout out to Gator too. He's in the chat since we're here right now. We were running the other night. I believe it was even just last night as we're recording, and Gator and Hazel were the runners in that room. And by the time we finished, they didn't mess up too much. And I warned Gator, I'm like, as a warlock, it's gonna be a little tricky in that third room. But by the end, he was all pumped up. He's like, "That's fun. I want to do that more." Right? Runners have a lot of fun.
It really is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk that third encounter, right? But yeah, the second encounter, runners are fun. But hey, Des, you were muted. I wasn't sure. I think, but
yes.
Anything you wanted to add about the raid?
I have not been able to run it again since last we recorded. No,
it's all good.
Because all you crazy people in your 10 o'clock raids for me.
Right.
I can't do it, especially with a new raid. There's no way I can. But no. Yeah, I've had the one raid. I've had the one clear. I've had the one clear.
Oh, good. But you were already telling us how you loved the certain parts. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely adore those parts too. Just I don't know why it just mixes so well. I think I'm not sure if I said it last time, but this raid feels like the somewhat ease of understanding that Deepstone had, combined with just like more ad density and a little more hecticness. And I feel like they've really got that balance down in WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing's super complicated to explain, and it seems like people can catch on pretty quickly, at least because I've had one clear, but I've ran the encounters multiple times. But like I said, it seems like things are fairly easy to grasp on, a little easier to grasp onto than, trying to teach and Sherpa Kingsfall.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck there. For anyone that hasn't done it, just wait.
The thing,
because hopefully they change good things.
Yeah. The thing even about the third encounter is not necessarily that the different spots to learn are hard. It's just you have to execute it kind of impeccably. Because if even one person dies, and you can say this for the lot of raids, but we're split up more, and if even one person dies, it can really go downhill fast if there's any recovery at all, right? And then as long as the cleanser is on point, that's like number one rule. And then even above that, though, if anyone dies on any particular side, or if the groups don't move up together and or kind of learn the ad spawn-ins, because that's a big part too. You learn the ad spawn-ins, and then you can melt them with. I really like using grenade launcher with chain reaction as kind of like a starting, especially if there's a few ads around. And if you can get all that down, then you can start to actually execute perfectly. But until you can execute perfectly, you get a couple deaths here and there, or you're not moving up together, so you're too slow or too fast. Then that's how it gets messed up. And it's kind of interesting too how, and we've said this before, but everyone has to do something. By the time you get to the third and fourth room, 3 people are doing things in the third room, and then a different 3 people are doing things in the fourth room. So everyone has to help.
Chaos for sure. No, I can't remember. Gator might have told me during our meetup, but did he get the exotic pulse his first run? Or no, you guys did it, or you guys do that after we met up?
Well, we didn't. I don't know if he has other clears without me, but the clear, when I was running with him, we didn't finish it, but I'm sure he would have mentioned if he got the exotic pulse.
I gotcha.
So I doubt he has it. Plus, it might have even popped in our Discord, because I think anyone who's in our Discord that gets it, it'll pop.
Oh, yeah. I hardly keep up with that, because there's been so many that have popped recently of people getting new stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many. It's weird because some word on the street and on Twitter, but this is too early to say, so take it with a grain of salt, but somewhere on the street, people are claiming it has a little more drop rate. But I haven't seen that personally yet. And I haven't run it tons of times. Well, no, that's just one sin. But how many clears do you have?
3.
And how many people got it besides you?
I haven't seen any other ones, I don't think, pop up during those 3
So if
runs.
it had a higher drop rate, I would, even with 3 clears, there might be one other person.
But to be fair, one of my clears I ran on the same character that week and didn't get any loot for that clear. So,
yeah.
So how does that affect the other people?
I don't think it does.
No. It doesn't.
Okay. Just checking.
Just checking. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I was happy to get it. I didn't have to wait for it. And I haven't really used it now that I've gotten it, to be honest with you. But it looks like it'll be a fun gun.
Potentially. But this is exciting. I've been running with lots of different crews, bunch of people in Guardian Hub, bunch of people in Guardian Down, other places. And it's a lot of fun to be running with people like Hazel and Gator and some people in Potato Thumbs. And the raid excitement is definitely here right now. And I hope that it stays that way for a while. There's a lot of other good weapons too, other than just people trying to chase the exotic. And, there's a lot of cataclysmic rolls. There's a lot of, even the armor is cool looking. There's, hidden chests in the raid. There's the extra red weapon chest you can get. It's a raid that you feel accomplished, not like, a vault where you can kind of sit back in some positions until the end. Then you have to do more work. But I think this raid, from what I'm seeing, it's kind of getting the raid bug and a few other people that I wouldn't have even expected. So I'm happy about that. All right. Hold on. We have a request here.
Okay, we have a request. What a request.
Okay. No, I took care of an admin thing.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, not worth mentioning on the air, but I just had an admin request real quick. All right. Oh, yeah. Gator says, I've been having an awesome time raiding lately. That's awesome. Yeah, and I know, Gator, even though we've had some, at least with the crews I've run with you, some difficulties getting past third encounter, it's still a lot of fun. Just as long as you feel like you're making progress, you're learning things, you're having a fun time, that's all that matters, and we'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
So
practice.
Practice makes perfect. All right. Other than the raid, should we go into that story?
Oh God, let's.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna take lead on that. I'm just reading something here, and then I can fill in whatever.
Oh my God. So, yes, this week was the finale. What seems to be the finality of, well, I mean, it's legitimately the final step of our seasonal quest for the time being. It does not continue on. Except for a potential epilogue, which is not listed in the series of dates that has been given to us through the current TWAB. Yeah, like it's fantastic. First, I'm going to talk about like the last PsyOps arena, which I think is
cool too. Yeah.
An absolute stroke of genius. Because I didn't actually put the two together until this arena, that there are places in Savathun's throne world that exactly mimic the Scarlet Keep on the moon. Because again, going through the campaign more recently on for this Witch Queen, whatever, and like seeing these spots, but then harkening back, like remembering, like there's spots from the Scarlet Keep strike that look exactly like this area. So seeing it blending between the Scarlet Keep and Throne World tile sets. Oh my God! Like I said, it's just such a like beautiful like stroke of genius.
Yeah. See, I thought, okay, is that how it works? We're in her throne world. I thought it was like the Hive just laid down stuff in the real world.
Yeah, I mean that was they're the way the story is saying they're trying to manifest Savathun's throne world onto the Scarlet Keep, to thusly attempt to take it over. Which of course is why it looks half and half. But no, yes, and the fact that they give that story that they're trying to do this thing, and that's like their ultimate plan. And the fact that you can see it as you're doing this last thing is just fantastic, and it reminds me of Season of the Splicer, when the last mission was actually in the Elixni quarter. That used to be. Oh God, what was that raid called? Scourge of the Past? Yeah, Scourge of the Past.
Oh yeah, Scourge.
So yeah, like that area that you're used to being in like a semi-social space is all of a sudden the final mission is just, like I said, I love these touches and like this in-world environmental storytelling to go with the actual storytelling.
Yeah, because the orchestration of laying out that whole mission too was pretty cool. I don't know if you were going to go more into details, but there's some cool things in there.
Oh, yeah, there's absolutely fantastic things, and if you're savvy enough, I don't know. That's so far it's my favorite PsyOps like area, because it seems like you can, like I said, if you're coordinated enough, you can actually get through it a lot faster. Yeah, I won't go into too many mind-numbing details about this mission, but it is fantastic though. But no, as you're foiling the Hive's plans of manifesting Savathun's throne world, or should I say the Lucent Hive, or Lucent Brood? Apologies. What? Okay, yeah. Krog was missing because he was supposed to give us intel and like mission backup. You know what Crow has been relegated to since he's become a guardian. But yeah, he goes entirely missing, and then we go back to the helm, and we find him, and he shut the machine down.
What?
Which, yeah, he shuts the machine down.
And to set the picture, we kind of find him almost like, I feel like sitting or kneeling on the ground, like looking upset, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he is totally like distraught because his goal was, of course, to shut the machine down to end the suffering of the hive. But what he did not know is that shutting the machine down killed the scion.
Oh.
So, yeah, a scion very important to Keitel is dead because of a guardian. And I feel like they foreshadowed this at the start of the season. Cabal honor demands a life for a life.
Well, and set it up too. Saladin was there, and he was pissed. He was flipping out.
Oh no, yeah, yes. Well, yeah, like no, it was like fantastic. He dropped an incredible line too. That was all, you know. What I hope the Vanguard can survive your conscience. It's like, ooh, right in the feels, man.
Yeah.
But no, it was fantastic. Like I love what they've done with Saladin, like this season especially. Because I thought he was a perfect fill-in for like, you know, what I can only describe as the guy in the field, essentially. You know, field commander. You know, relaying what's happening and helped the helm feel like an actual like strategic place. But yeah, so Keitel arrives. She finds out her scion's dead. So it's us, it's Crow, it's Zavala, it's Saladin, it's Keitel. And again, Keitel demands life for life. Crow is entirely okay with this. He's like, fine, you know, kill me. Because you do what you think is right, because I did what I thought was right. Which is another like, oh man, like moment.
Oh my gosh, and they had me going. They had me going.
Right. Keitel steps in to claim her life. Zavala clenches his fist and starts manifesting Arclight, which I think is the first time we see him do anything other than bubble.
He was about to start World War III.
Right? Like, to put it this, like I said, in game, the only thing we see Zavala do is pop a bubble. In the lore, he used Thunder Crash once in the dark future, but I guess that doesn't really count. So yeah, so he's manifesting Arclight. Keitel's getting closer to Crow. All of a sudden, Saladin steps up. If you need a life, take mine.
Following all this in?
Makes me want to just like log in and try to play it as quickly as possible.
It's fantastic. Now the nerd in me for a hot second spoke. It's like, okay, how's Saladin gonna die when he's currently hosting Iron Banner? Like, how are they gonna work this out? But no, apparently, Saladin is an anime protagonist. Because he has plot armor for days. Keitel respects the fact that he steps up to take Crow's death. Because apparently, courage in the face of death is rewarded among the Cabal. So yeah, so she, quote unquote, takes his life. And until the end of Saladin's days, he will serve on Keitel's war table as Brachus Forge.
Dun dun dun. Yep.
Oh
Saladin's gone. Well,
Good.
not really. I mean, I'm sure we'll hear more what's happening, but he's with Keitel now.
Yeah, he is. We may not have known what he's been up to between Iron Banners before, but now we know.
True story on that.
I'll use Dark Subclass in the cutscene from the beginning of Destiny 2. Thank you, Carpool. I'll have to actually look that up because there aren't many instances I know of where Zavala is channeling Arclight. Like I said, D2 vanilla opening cutscene, he's forming a bubble to stop the Cabal invasion. In the gameplay, he's forming bubbles to stop the Cabal invasion. And he's a bubble titan. But no, so yeah, this entire and that last transmission we get from Saladin is just absolutely amazing. Like on the actual war table, what he says to us is absolutely amazing. Because also Bungie being who Bungie is, there's at least 3 of us in the Discord that believe that they are basically making future Iron Banner changes canon. Because Saladin mentions that, Saladin mentions that Keitel would have to kill him to keep him from Iron Banner. But apparently Keitel's okay with the idea and has suggestions.
Yeah, there's even a line that Keitel might give suggestions for Iron Banner of what to do.
Right? It's like what? So wait. So Iron Banner changes that are happening soon is canon now. They canonized tweaking Iron Banner. What?
I mean, if this all plays
fantastic.
out, it's perfect. It's perfect.
I know, right?
Yeah. It gets me even interested in Iron Banner.
Right.
Kind of to see what happens.
But no, yeah, 100%. But yeah, they put Saladin on the bus. I don't think he's going to be, kind of like the faction heads before. I don't think he's going to be involved heavily in future story. I think they're kind of writing him off. But they gave him a great send off because this season or the season's story has been fantastic, like a fantastic end cap that we've had for Saladin that really ignited in, of course, Rise of Iron. But I feel like this was a good end cap. And if you pay attention, because I didn't notice it any week before, but on that side box where you get, of course, the weekly transmissions between other characters or whatever, there's a fantastic conversation between Saladin and Crow that you 100% need to listen to. 100%. But in his last transmission to us, he mentions that he leaves Crow a gift. And beside that little side box, you see an iron battle axe with Saladin's medallion hanging off of it. And like I said, I did not notice this in any previous week.
I think it's new. People were posting that on Twitter also.
Yeah. It's fantastic environmental storytelling to complement the actual storytelling. Because me and Kato actually finished the seasonal. It's part of a fire team. And I just happened to look and see, and I'm like, oh my god, there's a battle axe here. And he actually pointed out to me that the medallion was hanging off of it, and I was like, oh yeah, there it is. Like, oh my god. So yeah. And of course, Kato being a D2 fresh boy, he's of course wondering when we were going to get the battle axe and it's an exotic. Mm-hmm. So I had to break the news. It was already a relic.
A relic, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, which also made me realize a lot of the Titan's Maul super came from that relic. Like the heavy slam and the tornado. that was that relic. Yeah, it just wasn't a tornado back then, but it still had that lifty effect.
Oh yeah.
But no, yeah, this season like really knocked it out of the park for story. It was fantastic. There's twists, there's turns, there's emotional trauma everywhere. Crow's still trying to
damage.
right.
Get it done, and you can see it too.
Oh. Des, do you think they're going to continue this, though? Or do you think they have something planned like this for every season of the year? I mean, this is...
Oh, I think they do.
Year and this season, huge.
I trust that they do now. Because here's the thing. Like, yeah, we do have the big expansion, and that took a lot of work. I'm sorry, I know, yes, Des, but I believe they do.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, they're on an upward trend, and they don't have to do a whole big expansion for the next few seasons, but they can do great stories like this continually in each season.
Here's my opinion. They don't have to get better. Because, I mean, from Beyond Light, like, launch, and those seasons, like, Season of the Hunt was weak. Season of the Hunt was just super weak, I thought. Like, compared to the other seasons, the season that launched with Beyond Light was just super weak. Because they kept getting better and better and better just within that expansion, like, bracket.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if they just plateau and keep the rest of these seasons as good as this one, it's going to be like the best year. It's going to be the best year of Destiny, I believe.
And here's the thing too: we have a really good roadmap for, and we'll get into a little bit of the specifics for this season when we talk about the TWAB. But if we look forward, remember we're coming off this 6-month season. Do you know, like, as of the time this podcast is coming out, we're already a third of the way through the current season. We're already a month in.
Right?
It's flown by.
Yeah, and it looks like the next month will probably be light on PvE content, with some exceptions here and there. But then the last month is going to have Guardian games. But then we'll have a new season and new story, dungeons, some point in there. I mean, yeah, it's going to go fast after this 6-month season. We're going to be really enjoying this year of Destiny.
And where do they go from here?
Yeah, another expansion.
Like,
yeah.
No, I mean, like, just the next season. Where do they go with this story? Like, is next season going to be like the continuation of Crow's journey and trying to find the balance between Crow and Sov? Because that's like his entire journey, like through this. Like right now is potentially like over sympathizing with people because Crow had an amazing line that I had to retort because Saladin tells Crow, the Hive are monsters. Crow comes back and says, "So was I." I had to correct him because Crow was a dick, not a monster. I mean, Uldren Sov was a dick. Was a monster. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this is the storytelling I was like hoping for when they first raised, like that first cutscene where they raised Uldren Sov. This is like the storytelling I was hoping for. And like kind of more, because I really didn't expect them to actually give him Uldren's memories. And apparently, I guess since people missed it last season, Crow has Uldren's memories again, 100% because Savathun used Deep Sight on him last season.
Yeah, didn't he? I thought he said something about like, "Oh, I'm sickened of the person I was." Maybe not in those words, but
yeah.
He knows, right? He knows.
Well, I mean, I think some people might think that she did something like abstract to him. And I don't 100% know if they actually called it by Deep Sight in that season. But sadly, like knowing the leak information that I knew, I already knew it was Deep Sight. So that was... I don't know if it's less obvious from a, a layman's like standpoint.
It seemed
But as soon as it
obvious
happened
to
in the
me.
season, yeah, as soon as it happened in the season, it's like, oh, she did that thing that they talked about. Because again, that was the leaked information that we would get Savathun's memories back with Deep Sight, and hey, if we did, I'm actually super glad there hasn't been a big leak like that again, because I would totally read it and know everything. I'm kind of happy not knowing as much this time around.
Oh yeah,
because I haven't even like looked into like data mined like lore pages or anything. Of course, to be fair, I've also been entirely. You guys have been taking up a lot of time, guys. Spreadsheet still isn't done. Sorry. I'm gonna get back on it. I swear.
We'll get there.
It'll happen.
You'll get there. Yeah.
Hopefully, by the time this podcast is released, I'll be done with it. And if I'm not, then I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, let's move to the TWAB so we can get that stuff. I was going to say out of the way, but there's some good info in here. But and then we can.
There's some decent info.
We don't have to have a super long podcast, but there's kind of was a hinting towards there's some kind of like a roadmap, for lack of a better term. There's some
indeed
other information on some really good information on crafting weapons too. So if you want to take the lead on that.
Yes. They, of course, recap, of course, what we just went over, and the fact that, this season is about a trusted scion that's been exploring the hive, or the minds of the hive, blah, blah, blah. Reiterating, Banner is a thing right now. Go play it. Get that really cool-looking sword. Oh my god. It looks amazing. And it's a vortex frame, and it can roll with chain reaction. You're going to have fun. Anyway, roadmap. We do have roadmap of sorts at least. So they start March 15th this week. Iron Banner and a new PsyOps Battleground location. So March 22nd, which I think is this
should be the next reset, right?
Yeah. That's this next reset. I was trying to look at the date and make sure before saying that. Should be this next reset. But Legend PsyOps Battlegrounds go live, as well as Val of the Disciple challenges. Huzzah! April Fools, but not really. Trials Lab Zone Capture. We're going to see if they helped that nightmare of a mode any at all. Because I'm not. Wait, no, they did. I think they did air it.
They did
play it.
Change it and fix it some, but still, who knows how popular it'll be.
Because they changed like Vorpal, and before I can get B Reed's Regret, so I just settled on A Reed's Regret, and I finally dismantled my wall of regret. So yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Zone Capture, April the 5th, Grandmaster Night falls. See, that right there told me that we were getting closer to the end of the season, because they normally do that about half-ish way through a season, right?
Yeah, and that is pretty close to half-ish right there. Maybe a week or so before, but it's pretty much right in the middle.
The 8th, once again, Trials Labs, freelance this time around. April 12th, another Iron Banner. April 19th, Val the Disciple, Master difficulty. Yay. I can't wait to see actually what they call the adept weapons for Val the Disciple. Because time loss makes sense for oh my god,
yeah.
Vault of Glass. There we go. Can't believe I forgot the name of Vault of Glass, guys.
It's okay.
Right. Jesus. But I wonder if they'll stick with like that time loss moniker, or if they'll come up with something new. April 22nd, Trials Lab Zone Capture once again. May 3rd to May the 24th. Guardian Games. Will Hunters win again? Only if we care.
Only if you care.
Legitimately.
That's for a good month.
What?
Just short of a month. And is the season ending right around there?
3 weeks.
Or maybe a week after. It's got to be close.
It's probably the season probably end the week after that, if I had to guess, but I don't know a hard date of when it'll end. But within that time frame, May 6th, another Trials Lance, or Trials Lance. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Another Trials Lab, freelance, but with a community voted map. So that's pretty cool. May 10th, what looks like to be the final Iron Banner of the season, and May 20th, Trials Lab with both freelance and zone capture.
That'd be interesting. But hey, everyone, May 10th, it's the last Iron Banner of the season. Mark your calendars because it's the last one of the season until the next season.
Right.
Everyone always talks about last Iron Banner of the season. I'm like, why?
It's the bounty hoarders.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
That way they know which bounties they need to hold on to. Me, I'm probably not even going to play it, to be honest. Because it's like that last Iron Banner. I don't know. I might actually be really going for a roll of that sword. I do want one of those swords with a chain reaction. 100%.
Yeah.
They do talk about crafting. Just going to let that set out there for a hot second. Because yes, they are already talking about stuff to do for crafting. They explain in this little, not little, segment. It's not meaty, but it's not exactly little. But they explained the way they had originally envisioned crafting was actually way more complicated than what it shipped as. Because again, which makes sense, because the way they explained crafting was, if you wanted a gun with Rampage, you had to find a gun with Rampage. So these elements that they introduced, Adroit, Ruinous, Mutable, so on, were like perk-specific elements. It was for crafting things like Rampage and stuff.
Yeah.
But they found that was too strenuous on the system and just too much of a hassle in general. Way too many currencies floating around for that. So they make it kind of sound like last minute-ish. They collapsed those elements into the wider categories that were shipped. I really feel for the team that has to name the official things on how they came up with some of these terms for these elements. Ruinous makes sense, sure. Mutable kind of makes sense too, but what's Adroit? Somebody inform me. I'll probably Google it at some point in time, maybe. And they also added the exotic alloy, basically. The new golf ball, as people are calling it. They also added that on top, so that even that wasn't actually part of the original crafting vision. But they're basically still saying it's too many currencies, right? But starting with the coming hotfix on Tuesday, they will be upping our caps, because apparently people are not liking the caps to these elements, which is a lot of the feedback. But starting from the hotfix for this Tuesday, these caps will go up from 250 to 1,000. So you can hold way more.
I like that change. Yeah.
Right. And even for neutral elements, the cap will move up from 8,500 to 10,000. So not as much of a change, or actually, not quite as big of a jump, but still a gain. But get ready for a couple months for that to be entirely useless, because starting next season, they're getting rid of the Ruinous and Adroit and all of these extra elements, and they are going to be leaving the neutral elements.
Oh, and live update, Adroit means something that is fast or skillful. So does that make sense for the weapon perk? Is there something fast for Adroit?
Somewhat, but that also sounds like a synonym for energetic.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I definitely feel for the terminology team, which I don't know the name of that team, but, terminology.
So they're upping it, but then they're removing those sub ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're they're upping it for a quick fix, but next season they're just going to be entirely getting rid of that part of crafting. Crafting is still going to be a thing. You're still going to need neutral elements, so you're still going to need to do deep sight resonances, but no longer for particular perk elements. Ascendant alloys. There we go. If I would have read this just a little longer. But yeah, they're looking to add more player control over deep sight, or additional things that they're looking at. Apologies, I'm reading a little further ahead than my mind's going.
No worries.
But yeah, they're looking to add more player control over deep sight weapon unlocking of weapon patterns. They're continuing to monitor deep sight weapon stockpiling, acquisition rates, and progression, as well as resonant alloy progression rates and behavior. And they are discussing feedback around reshaping costs for those who wish to experiment more frequently with their perk selections, or trait selections is their terminology there. But I would really love for them to rework reshaping costs. That would be fantastic. Because I'm definitely one of those that can't decide what the crap I want to do with a weapon until it's far too late and I've invested far too much and I've wasted an ascendant alloy. Bungie, we can't waste these things.
Yeah.
Also, hot tip, Unstoppable Force for a glaive sucks. Don't do it.
Okay.
I think me and Kato discussed pretty much the best thing for the Enigma, at least for just general purposes, is Frenzy. And for those that know me, I don't really like Frenzy, but it's just kind of seems like the best all-around thing to do. But yeah.
All right.
But yes, it does sound like the Ascendant Alloys are still going to be like an in-game thing to get. It sounds like they're going to be sticking around. So again, it will just be the neutral elements for crafting a weapon, and then I guess the Ascendant Alloys for enhancing perks, which I really like that system. It does sound like at least a little more streamlined and easier to understand. Rather than, oh, hey, you need this perk and you need that perk, which still relies on your RNG of what a deep sight weapon even drops in order to collect the elements you need.
Yeah, I get it. I'm happy and sad at the same time. It kind of makes logical sense to me that if you want to shape a weapon and get a perk, you have to earn that perk from the weapon. But it's fine that they're simplifying it. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm definitely more okay with this than their abandonment of sunsetting.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree also.
Yeah, no, it's just going to get us probably a whole new round of hate, but I don't care. Sunsetting is good. Change my mind.
Hey, people have already said though, with these craftable weapons, they're kind of self-sunsetting a lot of things. So
I mean,
there we go.
Sort of. I mean, but also to be fair, if sunsetting had to leave in order for us to get crafting, I'm more okay with them than them getting rid of sunsetting.
Yeah.
Because crafting is just by far a far superior. I love it. I find myself, like I said, I find myself going for weapons I don't really care about, that I'm probably not going to raise, but I have to craft it. If that makes sense. Like, I have to get enough red, like a felled taradiddle, which is the bow you can get from the wellspring.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to use it. Definitely probably not going to use it enough to level it up. But I have to get enough red borders of that weapon to be able to craft one, because I have to craft one. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's me in crafting.
And for me, this system, even though it could potentially take me even longer than just getting a random RNG god roll drop, I like this better. It just gives me something to reach for and to grind for in the long run.
Exactly, because it's, like I said, it might take longer than to get a god roll, but also at the same time, you know you're going to get it.
Yeah, eventually you will.
Like with enough neutral elements and with enough experience on the weapon, you know you can get there, which is the fantastic thing. And of course, RNG being RNG, you could potentially never get it. So I really do like crafting, and at least like the long term of it. So it is good to see that they're not really. I guess it's not considered a failure, just complicated.
It's complicated. Yep.
Yeah. Which I really enjoy because again, it does seem like they're not really going to change much, except for maybe deep sight resonances might get a little more common for certain weapons. So yeah, that's going. But yeah, love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, there's another hotfix in the way. I couldn't see like a list or any like. I don't think they really shared what this hotfix is exactly fixing. But yeah, and of course, for those that wish, you can read the known issues. Fantastic because the art side has some pretty funny Rolk memes.
Yeah. The foot smash thing.
The old razzle dazzle.
The old razzle dazzle. Yep.
That is totally what I'm calling it from now on.
That works.
But yeah, so and that's really the TWAB. Yeah.
All right.
Also,
yeah.
A quick, I guess, explanatory thing about weapon crafting that I didn't realize, until actually me and Kato were trying to like compare glaives. But there's a point in time, of course, in weapon crafting that you can add an additional stat, or you can upgrade the intrinsic perk to give you like 10 of an additional stat.
Oh.
There's a line there that I didn't understand it at first. That says at weapon level 20, this weapon will gain additional stats. And what I thought that meant initially was that you might be able to get to like choose another 10 to put somewhere. But basically what it's basically like hitting level 20 on a crafted weapon is like masterworking an adept weapon. You get like an extra 5 in the stat that you've selected and like an extra 2 or 3 in all of the rest of the stats that can be modified.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So there's a caveat to that, just in case anyone was wondering or cared, because my mind was kind of blown that they added that was what they were referring to when I figured it out. Because we were trying to figure out why my glaive had slightly higher stat numbers than his glaive, which he crafted to be like mine. Because again, we discussed it.
Gotcha.
That's another reason why I love crafting right now, because again, me and Kato sitting in the enclave, trying to figure out, like between the two of us, what's the best way to run this glaive right now?
Yeah. And it's too
Which
bad.
We have come to the decision.
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, we've come to the decision of Impulse Amplifier and Frenzy.
Gotcha.
For your perks.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
Very nice. Well, Impulse, like I told him, Impulse Amplifier on a glaive is like the first time I've really felt Impulse Amplifier even do anything. It makes the blast from the glaive extraordinarily fast. Not quite hit scan, but pretty close. While, like I said, Frenzy just seems to be the best all-around perk, because a lot of the perks that activate on a glaive only apply to the blast of the glaive. They don't actually apply to the melee of the glaive. So basically, think of the glaive as the shooty part of the weapon.
Yeah.
That just so happens to give you a bonus melee. But your melee is not connected to, like, Unrelenting does not, as far as we know, does not proc off of melee kills, but it will proc off of blast kills. Rampage does not build stacks on melee kills, will build stacks on blast kills. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
As far as,
especially since you can't use your normal melee when you have a glaive.
Exactly.
I'll tell you,
So,
I love doing unstoppable glaive on those ogres, stunning them,
right?
and then just punch, 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 or you know, kill,
Stab, stab,
stab, stab,
stab,
stab,
overhead
stab.
swing,
Yep,
stab, stab, stab.
and they go
No,
down pretty quick.
You're basically prison shanking them.
Yeah,
It feels fantastic, yeah.
it does.
Like, especially as a
yeah,
like building out into like some of the glaive stuff. Like I said, especially from the third week in a row. But thank you, Nalzi, for like suppressive glaive with Silas Executioner on a hunter. It is fantastic. It is even more fun with like energy vampirism, because you can get so much ability energy in PvE just by running around and stabbing things. Because energy vampirism gives you energy to your least charged ability when you suppress a target, and you're suppressing a target every time you stab something. Oh my god, it's so good.
mm-hmm.
Oh, but it's just so much fun. I'm going to feel super sad when these seasonal mods go away, because I'm just having too much fun with the glaive right now.
Yeah. All right. Any live updates from Sin other than a bunch of memes you're posting in our live chat?
No, that's about it. Since I don't have my computer and all, I've been staring at the phone going through.
What else can Sin do during the podcast? He can't play, so how can he keep himself occupied?
Plus, I was thinking about like the outros, like what names I'm going to call you all on the outros.
Wait, you're giving away a secret? You actually think of it ahead of time?
Now I was, because I had a minute of it. A minute to think about it.
Minute to win
Or
it.
usually what happens is somebody will say something during the course of the podcast.
Oh, I know.
And I'm like, I need to remember that for the end. So I'll say it in my mind a few times so I don't forget it.
Don't forget.
Yeah. My memory is shot. Just keep that in mind. So I got to find ways to keep it memorized.
Okay. Yep. Well, for those of you listening, do let us know how Sin sounds this week compared to other weeks. If you like how he sounds, let us know.
I guess I'll be going live from my phone then every time after, if that's the case.
Or, in fact, I'll gift you one, Sin. Get like a freaking $30 mic like what I have, but that's actually purely directional,
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not one of these blue
Whoa.
mics.
What do you mean directional?
Unidirectional, whatever, not omni. I don't know what the
Gator and I were talking about it a little bit. I mentioned I was kind of looking at the Shure microphones. Heard they were good, but they are super, super expensive.
And
he
promise you
something.
a $30 mic will do, like what I have, if you get the right one.
Gator was mentioning an AT something.
Yep. That's the one.
Something or another.
Yeah, it's a. Now I forget. Sorry, if I cut you off. It's a AT. What is it? AT something mic. Gosh. Audio Technica, right? Okay, is that what this is?
Well, it would make sense if it's an AT.
Yeah, but was there another letter? Oh, ATR. Yes, ATR. That's what it was. Thank you, Gator, in the live chat. Which is still Audio Technica, right? Or is that something else? Anyways, yeah, post us a link. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is like, okay. I wonder if Gator got this from my idea. Anyways, this was what was recommended to me. This is exactly what I have. I have an Audio Technica ATR 2100, and Gator posted something like that also. Now, mine wasn't $100, though. Maybe I don't have the 2100. Mine was like $40. But yeah, these, you can get a really good Audio Technica mic, ATRs, for less than $100. And they're like these traditional mics that you would see. They're just, you got to talk right into it, but put a pop filter over it like what I have, get right up on it, and the audio quality is great, and it's not picking up all this other crap in your room.
Yeah, because it's directional, which most balloon mics are either Omni or Cardioid.
Cardioid, I think it was the blue mics, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
The blue mics were just a hipster popular thing when a lot of people were podcasting more. I don't know why. Probably because they look cool and they're kind of like that old style look, you know?
To be fair, blue microphones were basically the easy YouTuber starter mic.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of, They weren't professional mics, so they were on the cheaper side, and they were USB plugins. So for a small YouTube channel, you can get like the common pattern back in 2010-ish was to get a Snowball and then upgrade to a Yeti.
Yeah.
And then,
but then the
as
Yetis
you, if
kind of got expensive, though, I feel like.
oh yeah, well, popularity, supply and demand.
Yeah.
There was a demand, so they can charge more money. That's capitalism 101.
Yep.
Right.
But hilariously, whenever I went to start, back when I was in the DRP, Arrow actually recommended that I start with a Samson Meteor mic, which is cheaper than a Yeti. This is also about 40-ish bucks, but it still suffers. It's cheaper than a Yeti, but it basically performs like a Yeti. It's cardioid, so it's not fantastic, but at least the quality is on par, and you can actually still get Samson's. Yeah, and like I said, there's that. So yeah, which pretty much every episode I recorded of RNG was on the Samson Meteor.
Nice.
And now I'm stuck on my phone, which, yeah, me and Kingsley finally figured out why I sound crappy. Blame Discord.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I figured out a cool Bluetooth headset that I could use for gaming on my PC because I've always had a corded one plugged into my audio jack on my controller, and I wanted to go wireless. And it was nice. It was convenient. But then when I try to get on a Discord call, the problem with Bluetooth, if you don't know, but I guess some people may know, is if you try to do a quote audio chat, it counts as a phone call also. And then that is the older Bluetooth standard, which brings all your quality down. And then the in-game audio sounds really crappy. Plus your actual voice kind of sounds crappy too.
Yep.
And I think they have to keep that for like old support to support older things. So
probably.
Yeah.
It's probably also just because, like I said, Discord on phone is the exact same volume keys are counting as a call, which entirely explains why this headset that I use for everything else, in-game chat sounds fine. Party chat sounds fine. On Discord, sounds crappy. That's why.
Which again goes back to my suggestion of for when you're chatting with people, doing raids or things, one of the most convenient, good quality, and cheap ways of making it work is just a headset over your ears with the mic that plugs into your controller. It just works.
So I should do the headset over the ears with a mic because it works.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's very few mics that I can use that won't sound crappy on this thing, probably. Just because of the way it's set up. But anyway.
Yeah, enough geek talk. We need to wrap this up because we have things to do, but
yeah, I'm going to sleep after this.
Before you go to sleep, gosh, come on, stay awake. Any shout outs from the family before we go?
No, they're actually asleep. They're normally asleep like this late at night. I'm usually not.
You're just in your dungeon.
Yeah, so. I'm usually in the dungeon, playing video games and talking to you gents. Now I don't have anything to distract me, so I'm like just staring at a screen, and it's like that's why I'm doing the GIFs in the chat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Des said Samson Meteor or whatever it's called, and I immediately thought Dumb and Dumber, Samsonite.
Yeah.
All right. Well, definitely let us know if what you think about Sin's Voice. Let us know about the seasonal story, what you like about it, and let us know what weapons you are looking forward to crafting. Just a reminder, we have a great Discord. And if you have not joined it yet, please do so because there's nothing crazy about it. You can talk if you want to. You don't have to. You can just lurk. But it's a great resource, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because we just opened, I say we, but Kingsley stealthily opened up a brand new infographic to differentiate from general infographics and raid infographics. Yeah. So now you can more easily find raid resources.
Yeah.
Like our MS Paint exhibition.
Yeah. I'm even tempted to remove that one. But anyways, yeah, we have a great Discord resource with all sorts of channels that you can join. And you can find the links to our Discord and our clan. We'll give that through our website
momentarily.
But before we do that, Sin, where can people find you other than in Florida right now?
Well, I mean, you pointed out the obvious one. Of course, I'm in Florida or over on Discord as the boring VOTD teacher. Currently, next to you green gents at the top of Discord, or over on Twitter at sin_media. Mr. Razzle Dazzle, where can they find you?
You can, of course, find me across the Discords, usually talking lore or having mental health breakdowns. It happens on occasion. And you can find me on Twitter at DS_Raven, home of the Festus Index, which, like I said, can also be found in the Discord, but I need to advertise Twitter for something, even though I rarely look at it, but, whatever. Which, yes, will be updated soon. Promise. Kingsley.
Yep. We'll be looking forward to that for sure, but no worries. Whenever you get it done is great. You can find me as KingsleyMac all the places. I occasionally stream on Twitch, mostly while I'm raiding, but my one exception is Twitter, where I am MC Kingsley. Now you can find our show on Twitter as The Guardian Hub, or on our lovely website with all the links at theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Sin. Hopefully you didn't wake up anyone in Florida. Gator, did you hear that? Did he wake you up when he said that?
I woke him up before I go.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Sin. Thanks, Des. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in this week. And we will catch you again next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Later.